What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, y'all. So in preparation for Thanksgiving, we are making homemade stuffing. Yes, this is a staple in the South. Y'all, I'm from Florida. We always have stuffing at Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving if you don't have stuffing, and it got to be done right. It can't be soupy. It can't be too wet that it's looking like cat food or dog food. Like, no, it has to be done correctly. Okay, so this recipe is super easy, but yet top tier. The flavors are out of this world. And it really just puts you in the mindset of like your grandma stuffing. Like, when I say I did that. If y'all follow this recipe to the T, baby, okay, everybody gonna be ranting and raving on Thanksgiving, and y'all got plenty of time to practice and get it right. So let's get into this recipe. So we are going to start off baking our cornbread. I'm using Jiffy. I know I see a lot of recipes out there that basically despise Jiffy. Mind your business, okay? Don't be in my business doing that. Jiffy works perfectly fine. So I'm just going to follow the instructions on the back of the cornbread box. And that's, I actually doubled this recipe. So I'm going to use 2 eggs, and then I'm going to use buttermilk instead of milk. So you're not going to add anything else to this recipe besides what the box say. Don't be trying to add butter and oil and all of that, okay? Keep it simple and just follow the instructions on the back of the box. So once you have added your egg and your buttermilk, you're going to whip that thing together, okay? And it don't take long to come together. You don't need no hand mixer. Get your little spatula. Put your little elbow grease on and make it do what it do. So this is what our cornbread mixture is looking like after every bit of 30 seconds. And I'm going to pour that mixture into a aluminum baking pan. Now you can use your cast iron skillet, but baby, we gonna crumble this up, so anybody trying to be washing all them dishes, we gotta go, okay? So go ahead and level off your cornbread and make sure that it's equally distributed throughout the pan, just like so. And then we are gonna bake it on 400 for about 20 minutes. So while our cornbread is in, we're gonna get started on our chicken. So chicken is very important in this recipe. And then as you can see here, I have butterflied the chicken. Now the chicken has 2 purposes, right? So we need we call it drippings. You can call it stock, whatever you want to do. We need that from the chicken. So I have made my own blend of seasoning that I am happy to announce that it's in production and will hopefully be to you guys soon. So I blended up my own seasoning. It's a multi-purpose seasoning, so whatever seasoning you're going to use for your bird, do you, boo. Of course, I can't share what's in this seasoning blend, but yeah. So I blended up my own seasoning, and we're going to use this seasoning to literally massage our chickens down. And what that's going to do is give the drippings or the, juice from the chicken is going to give that really, really good flavor. And that's what's going to make our stuffing, okay? So your chicken stock, chicken drippings makes or breaks your stuffing. And I personally like to bake the chicken pause. So the key to any good baked meat during the holidays is seasoning it very, very well. So if your chicken has any pockets, like you see how the chicken breast had a little pocket, you see I'm peeling the skin back, and we're going to drop some seasoning in there. That's what be wrong with y'all baked stuff and why it be dry and don't be tasting right, because y'all don't be putting enough seasoning. So, okay, you're going to make sure you rub this down, scrub the ground, and give the Bertha a massage, okay? She want to be loved too. And you eat every part of the chicken, so you got to make sure every part of the chicken is good and seasoned. So as I was saying, the key part to any great stuffing is having a great tasting stock or a great tasting the juices from the chicken. I prefer to bake mine because at the end of the day, we have to eat the chicken. Especially, this makes things a lot easier for Thanksgiving. Why would you boil the chicken? Don't nobody want to boil chicken for Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not boiling the chicken, okay? So, period. And that's that on that. We're going to season it and we're gonna bake it and roast it so that way we get the drippings that we need from the chicken, but we still have like real good chicken to put on the table for Thanksgiving. Like, it's gonna be real good, crispy, nice and roasted. Okay, so just continue to season your bird, and as I said, I peel back the skin and I make sure that each and every part of the chicken is seasoned to perfection. And this is honestly key to any baked chicken, baked turkey. If y'all want a baked turkey video, how to get a juicy, well seasoned baked turkey for Thanksgiving, drop it down in the comments below and I'm gonna make it happen. So don't be stingy with the seasoning, and go ahead and rub it in, and you just want to make sure that this chicken gonna be fine. Okay, dripping's gonna be fine and the chicken itself gonna be fine. So as I did on the back, I'm going to flip the bird around, and the same way we season from the rooter to the tutor on the back, we're going to do the same on the side. So again, don't be stingy with the seasoning, and also make sure that your seasoning is not too salt based. So you want a lot of different like levels of flavor, but you don't want to make it overly salty, because that's just nasty. That ain't even healthy. So get into your garlic powders, your onion powders, cumin, rosemary, thyme. Like, build a flavor profile, and don't just put a whole bunch of salt, because that's gonna mess up your stuff in one, and then don't nobody want no salty chicken. Okay, so don't just think that throw away Lawry's, throw it in the garbage. Build a really, really nice flavor profile when it comes to your seasoning blend, and don't make it too salty. So I'm making a really decent sized pan of stuffing, so that's why I have 2 chickens. If you have a relatively small family and you're only feeding like 4 people, then go ahead and just use 1 bird. You don't need 2. But if you're gonna make like a decent sized pan, you will need two whole chickens to get enough drippings for your whole pan of stuffing. When I tell y'all seasoning game on 100, like, period, okay? We not having no dry, bland bird, but no type of dinner. Thanksgiving or regular dinner. Like, it's illegal in my house. I can't wait for y'all to get y'all hands on this seasoning. When I tell y'all this seasoning is amazing, like, it's going to be so worth the wait. Please leave down in the comment section below if you are excited. I have a lot of things coming. Seasonings, ebooks, a lot of stuff is on the way. Okay, so I've rubbed down both of my birds, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little extra love on top just to make sure that, the chicken is going to have the flavor that I need it to have. So I'm also going to take some olive oil, because like I said, I like crispy roasted chicken. So you just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. And I did like a capful of olive oil for each bird. And then once I'm done drizzling olive oil, I'm going to take some aluminum foil, and you want to make sure that this is sealed so it locks in all of that juice that is going to come from the chicken. So yeah, make sure that your aluminum foil is nice and tight so nothing escapes. And then I'm going to put it in the oven to cook for 2.5 hours on 375. So our cornbread is done, honey. Yes, it's beautiful, and you could just eat it like this. Honestly, if you want to, put that thing to the side and wait for the rest of dinner to be done. But of course, we have to wait on our chicken to be done. So we're going to put this to the side and let it cool. So our chicken have come such a long way. They still not done, but it's done enough for me to take all of the drippings. Y'all, look at the drippings. The herbs that's in it is just so rich in flavor. Like, you can look at the drippings and tell, look how flavor. Like, why I'm using chicken stock? For what? Like, we gonna use some chicken stock, but regular boiled chicken stock, I pass. That color is beautiful. So I'm gonna take the drippings now, and I'm gonna pour it in a separate bowl, and then I'm gonna put the chicken back in the oven to brown and get a little more color. So be careful pouring out this juice because, of course, as you saw, it is extremely hot. But y'all, get into the flavors. Like, this is what you needed from the chicken. So again, if you're making a small pan, 1 chicken, if not 2. So I have a saucepan that I have some melted unsalted butter in, and I'm going to add in some garlic paste. And I'm going to, let that release, give that a little swoosh around. And then we're going to start adding our vegetables. So here I have celery. I'm going to add in, it's a tri-pepper mix, so green bell pepper, red and yellow. And then we're going to add in some onion. So the reason that I'm sauteing my vegetables is because stuffing is like, it's soft and moist. So the last thing you want is somebody crunching like they biting into a darn apple while they eating your stuffing. Like, that's not, no, that's not cute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cook all of these vegetables down so that the textures blend in the stuffings and it's all seamless because we not eating no apple. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start crumbling up my cornbread. And you need to use your hands, okay? You don't need no fork, you don't need no knife, you don't need no spoon. Go ahead and just crumble up your cornbread just like so. It takes a minute to do so. You want to make sure that the crumbles are pretty much fine. You don't want chunks, big chunks of cornbread. That ain't it. Okay, so don't be scared to just go ahead. And as you can see, it broke apart super easy. I didn't spray anything with no non-stick spray. Just go ahead, get in there, crumble everything up. You want it to basically resemble like sand, if you will. So yeah, this takes a minute to just go in and break it down as much as possible. You don't need to put it in a blender, no food processor, none of that. Just use your hands and crumble down the cornbread. So I've transferred my cornbread over to a large mixing bowl, and y'all, this is it. It's crumbled just enough. So I'm going to add a box of the stovetop chicken mix. You could use the regular chicken. You can use low sodium. It's your stuff and you do what you do, boo. And we're going to go ahead and pour that in. And it just contains like breadcrumbs, and it's got some extra seasoning in it, y'all. So that's why I told you, don't be heavy on the salt when it comes to seasoning your chicken and the drippings that you're going to use from your chicken. You don't want that overly salty because don't nobody want no salty food. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blend this together really quickly so that once we add the rest of our ingredients, we're not, everything mixed together well. So I'm going to add seasoning. So here I have garlic powder, and it's about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. I have onion powder, and of course all of the ingredients will be listed down in the description box below. I have some rubbed sage. And I have poultry seasoning. Y'all be careful with the sage and the poultry seasoning, okay? Use the measurements down below because that will make or break your stuffing. And if you use too much of either of those seasonings, they're going to be talking about you, okay? And no, we're not doing that. So be very careful with the amount of sage and poultry seasoning. So that good old chicken stock that we made, or chicken dripping, we're going to add about 3 of these soup spoons, or 4 of these soup spoons at a time. So you want to add the liquid slowly but surely to your mix because at the end of the day, you don't want cat food for stuffing, Okay, it doesn't need to be dripping wet. So you want to mix around. Of course, that wasn't enough, but you want to gauge the consistency of your stuffing as you go, because you can always add more, but you can't take out. Okay, so clearly things still looking a little dry down there, like a nun's hot pocket. So we had to add some more. So you want to continue this process, just adding your liquid slowly but surely. And then you're going to mix it around, and then eventually we'll get to the consistency that we are looking for. And I guess it's really up to your preference. Like my family, we don't enjoy wet stuffing. I think that is absolutely disgusting, but I do see other people that do. So if you want your stuffing a little bit more on the wet side, it's your prerogative. You feel free to add more liquid. I prefer not. So this is starting to come together, but it's still not where we need to be. And keep in mind that it needs to be just a little bit more wet than you need to, because you're going to bake it. And of course, some of that liquid is going to cook out as it is baking in the oven. So stuffing is a little tricky, y'all, okay? But we're doing this in enough time for y'all to practice and get some practice in, because you don't want it to be dry. That's you don't want to be biting into a Brillo pad, okay? So move it around. Make sure that you're, mixing it well enough so that you can see, you can peep. If it's stuff still looking like cornbread, see that little piece of cornbread right there? It ain't wet enough. So we're going to add some more liquid in them, and then mix it around, because if you have any pieces of just cornbread, yeah, it's too dry, okay? So it's starting to come together. And then once we get to the consistency, you'll know. Like when you're in the kitchen and you cook for real, you just know. Like it's so hard to explain the recipe sometimes, because they be like, oh, how do you know when you have enough liquid, baby? The mixture, it just moves. It got body. And when you turn that spoon over, if it ain't moving how it's supposed to move, like right now, it's a little stiff. So it needs some more liquid. So at this point, I recommend you taste your stuffing for seasoning, because you can always add, whatever you need to add. Mine was perfect, seasoned to perfection. So I'm going to add in my vegetables. And then vegetables also have like a little water content too. But this is going to cause our stuffing to kind of firm up a little bit. So you're going to give that a good mix and make sure everything is distributed equally throughout the stuffing. And I still need a little bit more liquid. So I have some chicken stock from the shelf, and look how bland that chicken stock is. I just needed this honestly for liquid, because baby, that chicken stock ain't have nothing on our chicken stock that we cooked, okay? And that's why I'm saying make sure you rub that bird down, because you can't depend on that at all. So I'm just adding a little bit by little bit to get the stuffing consistency where I need it. And honestly, our flavor profile is already through the roof. So adding that bland, I could have used water. I could have used water. No, I'm playing. It did a little something, but it ain't giving what our birthdays gave. So see how when I move that spoon around, and then it's like hair, like it just body, like it moved back in place. That's the consistency. Like I can't explain it. When it moves slow like that, like a mudslide, that's when you know you got that thing right, okay? So this is the consistency that I am looking for. If you want to add, look at God, want to do it? If you want to add chicken to yours, please do so. I prefer not to have too much chicken strips. It just gets too complicated. I got chicken on the side, so we'll need too much chicken. I don't add any meat in my stuffing, but your stuffing is yours. So I'm going to add it to another aluminum baking pan. Again, we're not washing no dishes. No unnecessary dishes. And then you want to level it off, making sure that it's leveled, and spread it equally throughout the pan. So our stuffing is ready to go. We're gonna put this bad, but y'all, you see the seasonings, like the way we season that bird. We're gonna put this in the oven for about 45 minutes. And look at God. It cooked up beautifully, and you can tell when it's done when the edges start getting like that nice golden brown. Yeah, it is done. So I'm gonna let it cool, because it's kind of like macaroni. You gotta let it cool down a little bit, let it set. But that is it. And then once it starts browning around the edges, take it out. And you can see mine started to brown because you don't want to overcook this and dry it out. But I can't wait till, yes. Amen. So let's cut into this thing and let's see if it is giving everything that it is supposed to give. We're going to pull that thing up. Look at the seasonings, y'all. So much flavor. I'm telling y'all. This recipe, top tier. And it's so easy. Like, it ain't take, yes. Amen. It ain't take no time for us to put this together. So as I said, y'all have plenty of time to practice before Thanksgiving. I am looking forward to you guys comment and let me know how your stuffing came out. And this was my bowl because I could just eat it by the bowl of stuffing. So thank you guys for tuning into another video. I will be back with more holiday readiness videos. We're going to get into some tangs, honey. Let me know in the comment section what recipe that you would like to see for the upcoming holidays. And I got y'all. Thank you guys for the support. And I will see you guys on the next video.